Hola Madridistas, welcome to a slightly different edition of the Let's Play podcast preview edition. And then, you all expected maybe, just looking at the title, it might be just a normal Espanyol preview. But we're actually going to focus more in on the fixture list that's been coming up. And of course, I think, Farooq, maybe you can agree with me. It's going to be a mini Man City preview for every single preview that we do until the Man City game.
Exactly, man. Everything is just, leading in that direction, honestly. Like there is nothing, bigger than that game right now. Like every single game we discuss is always gonna have, the elephant in the room, which is gonna be the tie against City. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's the fourth time in 4 consecutive seasons, we are facing City, but okay, like we the two of us have combined won the last 3 Champions Leagues as also. It tells that, to win the title, at least for the past 4 years, yeah, you've had to defeat Real Madrid, or have to defeat Man City to get there. So it is what it is. One way or another, we have to play these guys. But I wish it was just further down the line rather not at the very beginning of the whole thing.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Man City game. I mean, I saw Mo in the chat. He was like, "I am fed up of this fixture. I just don't want to see it ever again in my lifetime." uh, but yeah, I feel that way. I mean, it's just very different dynamics each time we face them. It's not like the matchup last season. It's not like the previous season before that. The 4-0. Who can forget? But yeah, it's all gonna be different. That's why I'm still excited about it. But yeah, man, like before we actually kick things off and look into the fixture list and stuff, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped. They're the pioneers in the male grooming space. They got shampoos, conditioners, shavers, whatever you need it in the that you might need in the bathroom to look your best. They have it, man. So look no further. And if you want to support our channel, this is a great way to do it. And you can go to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Grab it while it lasts. So yeah, man, Farooq. The Espanyol preview is almost never on the cards, yeah? We're always going to talk about the Man City game. Maybe even the fixture list. Let's start there, instead of heading right in. So it's what? 2 games a week for the next foreseeable 9 weeks. I think there's an international break in between,
Yeah,
but that's it. Yeah.
in March, yeah, there is an international break in March.
Okay, so so it's almost 9 weeks of the grind where we the fans are gonna have to put on a shift, especially of those of us who are working. We're always gonna have midweek games to catch and whatnot. But yeah, and the other thing is, it's not the typical fixture list that we might preview at the start of December or November. This is where the shit gets real, so to speak, and it's going to be a hard one. Like, have you taken a look at it yet, especially the La Liga fixture list?
Yeah, I mean, I know we play Espanyol this weekend, then midweek we play the Copa del Rey, and then the weekend we play Atletico Madrid, and then the midweek we play the Champions League, and then I think we play Osasuna, and then we play Man City again. So yeah, it's quite interesting. And if we qualify for the semi-finals of the Copa, then there's also going to be that fixtures, and then the round of 16s of the Champions League, and then we have the international break, and then you come back, and it's more of the same again. But anyways, like if we're able to win our matches in the cups, it's going to be a very, very long month of February and early March. But yeah, man, I mean, and considering the lack of options that we have in defense, especially, it's going to be quite interesting to see if the players can keep fit. And I mean, the thing I come to realize is that, like, honestly, there's a lot of indiscipline in our team. You know,
Indiscipline.
yeah.
Who are you talking about?
I mean, the point about suspensions, like we have Vinny Jr. getting yellow cards here and there. We have Jude Bellingham also starting to also accumulate yellow cards here and there as well, not for tackles,
Yeah.
but for talking or raising hands or kicking balls away and stuff like that. So we know now that Jude is walking a tightrope, and definitely Man City is going to target that. That's just one thing for sure, especially with the way they're, out of form right now. They're going to target that, and if Grealish is still at the club come the end of the transfer window, or like even Bernardo Silva, Pep might actually instruct them to be like, okay, you guys just, wind Jude Bellingham up a bit, or like, wind up, Antonio Rudiger, because they know that they take Rudiger away from the game. Haaland has a free day, because of course we know you can't expect David Alaba to come back from almost one year and 1 month not playing to come and mark Haaland. That's not going to be the case. Take out Rudiger, you're going to have Asensio and Chouameni as your center backs.
I don't know. I mean,
with,
it's
Dani
Carlo, man.
Carvajal on one side.
Carlo has his set of trusted inner circle, right? And if Alaba is fit, he's gonna play. That's my feel.
I know, but I know Alaba is gonna play. But what I'm saying to you is that like Alaba defending against Haaland
It's not
when
gonna be
paired
pretty.
with with Raul Asensio and Lucas Vasquez playing as a fullback, that's a whole different ballgame, man.
It's different, and it's not like Alaba was like a cut himself in glory when we faced off against them in the past. Like this is
And
after,
also, don't
yeah.
forget, Tchouaméni also has one. Is also 1 yellow card away from suspension as well.
Oh, you
So
just know
imagine
it's
if
like
they're able to
okay,
successfully
maybe
get.
I can like foresee Bellingham being a bit more careful. He's just shutting up his mouth because he doesn't go really dirty into the tackles. It's just his mouth that we have to be scared of, like you rightly pointed out.
Exactly,
And
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I said
but
in
you know
this game
that
because, as I said, like
Many
it's
is
not like
gonna
they
just
tackle.
get a stupid yellow card. That is for sure. We can't expect to see him in the
Man,
second
I
leg.
actually, for me, actually, I'm more worried about Rudiger because I kind of feel like, okay, yeah, like everyone, okay, of course, like Jude is an integral part of this team, the same way Vinicius is. But if Vinicius or Jude are out, we can find a way to maneuver. But if you take away Antonio Rudiger from this team, bro, I mean, we can just, okay, it's okay.
Just
Let me not say
grab a
that, but we can
lifeboat
just,
and sing Kumbaya, because this is the end.
yeah, I don't know, man. We can just, just close the shop and just forget about the game because I'm sorry, but like Raul Asensio paired with Tchouaméni as the center backs,
Or
bro.
maybe Alaba, like some people who have never played together in their lives. Yeah,
Like, so that's also another thing. Like Tchouaméni and Alaba. Like Alaba is coming back from a career-threatening injury, and then you have him, and then you have Lucas Vasquez as a fullback as well. That's going to be quite interesting to watch, honestly. So that's actually what's got me more worried. It's not about just the tie; it's just about the fact that like a yellow card for either of these three key. Even Luka Modric is also there, but I trust Luka to do his thing and not get a yellow card in both games. It's not going to be a problem. But like it's just Rudiger, Chouameni, and Jude Bellingham actually, and especially Rudiger that gives me a bit of the heebie-jeebies because if we no matter how good we play in the first leg, if we, lack Antonio Rudiger for the second leg, it could be very, very disastrous, honestly. And honestly, as I said, like I feel like we have a issue of, ill discipline with this team. So, and we've seen this time and time again, Man City, although they play silky football and this and that, they're teams that, care are really, a dirty team as well.
yeah.
We saw that when we saw that at I think it was at the Etihad when they played at Atletico Madrid. Oh no, it was at the Metropolitano actually when they played Atletico Madrid. We saw that. And also we've seen this, in different games
I
in,
think
in the
Farooq,
Premier League as
it
well.
was.
This is what.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think it was that game that where I actually saw that Man City are capable of winning trophies. That performance against Atletico towards the end, that showed me.
I agree with you. That's the thing. And I mean, I'm saying this even if I'm a coach, like the kind of football I like to watch. But if I'm a coach and I'm seeing that, okay, yeah, they're gonna take if I take out Rudiger, the options they have is Alaba who hasn't played for 13 months and Raul Asensio. Bro, I'm definitely taking out Rudiger. I mean, one of my players will get a yellow card because they also want Rudiger to get a yellow card. This is just the business. Take one for the team and move on with your life. That's just the thing. The next game is Haaland against Raul Asensio and Alaba. Bro, Christmas came early for us, bro.
Yeah, maybe we'll be begging for a 4-0, dropping like we saw before. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
honestly, like other than
Yeah,
that, I honestly right now, as also Pep alluded to, right now I do feel like we are in a good phase compared to what they are. Of course, they can register like the new players that they bought, in the next months, but our players are also getting into form, so I really have no issues. And as I've always said, if our players, the individuals, are playing around 70-80%, I am good because I know that they are better than what any other team has to offer. You
yeah,
understand? But the point is that, like, as we saw at the beginning of the season, the players weren't playing too well. But right now, Kylian Mbappe is, looking to fire on all cylinder. Vinicius is doing what Vinicius is doing. Jude Bellingham is back in the goals as well. And Rodrigo, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I should apologize to Rodrigo, man, because I've always been someone who's like said that, yeah, like he's gonna be the person to drop out of this lineup. But right now, he's literally becoming impossible to drop.
yeah.
Not
Carlo
literally
even
becoming,
even has
he's
to think. So
impossible to drop.
like even when Vinny comes back, like should we push Vinny more towards the center, take Rodrigo's place? Like that could be on the back of Ancelotti's mind for sure.
I mean, definitely this is something. This is something. But honestly, like let's not forget, like it's not like Rodrigo is playing well when Vini is not there. Vini has missed some games, but like Rodrigo has been playing really well even when
Yeah.
Vini is there. You understand? Because let's not forget the game against Salzburg when we scored five, Rodrigo scored two in that game as well, while Vini was on the pitch, where Vini also scored two. You understand? So it's not like he's playing on the on the left. That's why he's playing well. No, he's playing alongside Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe, and he's being, you know, of course, like I mean, I would not take credit away from what Kylian Mbappe has done in the last 2 months. Like he's been, the best player on the team, and after that, I think the next best player we can talk about is Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, and that's credit to him, and also like, of course, Vinicius is doing Vini things, and Jude is also playing really well. So that's the thing. Like, it's really, if we can get those guys to play at 70-80%, I think, like whoever the opposition is, we're good to go, honestly. But the defense, man, honestly, I don't worry about the midfield. The defense, bro. If I don't know, man, honestly, like
I
it's
mean,
it's
it's okay. Did you caught the game against PSG, right? PSG. I mean, Man City are not the same team that we faced off against them. I don't know if Rodri really deserves, like, the Ballon d'Or and whatever came, but like they looked lost without him. There's no build-up play. They couldn't even hold on to possession. The defense looks in
I think the loss of
shambles.
Rodri is overblown, man.
It's
I think the
overblown.
loss of Rodri is overblown. See, okay, the point is this, don't misunderstand me. Rodri is a very important piece. But are you telling me that Rodri was covering for Kyle Walker while also covering for the center backs, while also covering for what's he called? The wingers as well? Like, is this
Yeah,
what people are saying? I don't understand. Because right now you're looking at this the team, like there is no creativity in the team. Kyle Walker was playing like horseshit. Ake is out. Ruben Diaz was out. John Stones was out. Like, are they telling me that
their
all of
most
these players are
best
out
their
and
best two-way player, Bernardo Silva. He's no longer playing, like, the player that he
exactly,
was.
he's no longer playing as he used to play. Like Kevin De Bruyne also was, also fitness issues and all this and all that. So in my opinion, I understand that okay, like Rodri is a very important player, but you cannot tell me that all of this is happening because Rodri is not there. There are like a lot of factors in there. A
Yeah,
lot. Let's not forget, man. Come on, 2 years ago, like not even 2 years ago, even till last year, Kyle Walker was the only kryptonite that existed for Vinicius Jr. There was no player that could mark Vini except for Kyle. Walker was the guy who was marking Vinicius Jr. So are you telling me that, yeah, it was because of Rodri that Walker was able to mark Vini Jr.? I don't think so.
yeah,
You understand? Of course, Rodri is a very important player. Deserves Ballon d'Or or not, okay, that's a whole different story. But like the predicament that City find themselves in is not just related on the loss of Rodri. Rodri, phenomenal player, fantastic player, but there have been a lot of missing pieces for City as well. The defense has been obliterated, more or less. There is absolutely zero offense.
yeah,
You know, they look to create, they look for creativity from Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is absolute, horseshit this year.
yeah.
So this is the thing. You look at these things, and
I mean,
like
this
it's not just that. Like let's not.
yeah, it wasn't so wide, but even in periods when they were missing De Bruyne, the whole midfield look out of sorts. Is almost found like there was no offense. But they still had the defense to depend on, and but this time that's not the
Exactly,
case.
exactly. So I do think like like of course like Rodri is important, but like there is a lot more than just the miss. The absence of Rodri.
Yeah,
There is a lot more than just the absence of Rodri. So I do think, but again, players are coming back. As we're led to believe that in the next week, like they're gonna welcome back Aki, and Stones was also back as well, like last weekend and all that. So gradually they're welcoming back players, to fill in the defense. And also, of course, they got a new attacker as well in Marmoush, and Savinho also, like is starting to play better,
yeah,
stuff like that. So, and then even more importantly, I think for them, Phil Foden is starting to play better because in the first half of the season, Phil Foden was absolute garbage, but Phil Foden also is starting to play better and stuff like that. So I think that's the thing. Like it's a Rodri and Nagdero for whatever, but like City also are starting to get better, starting to get healthier. But as I said, like I feel like also for us, like our players are starting to push into that form. The form is starting to come to them, and I do think like the individual talent that we have eventually should be able to overcome this. But then our defense is made of glass, man. Like our defense is just an accident waiting to happen, honestly, as we've seen with Barcelona and every big team that we've played this season, more or less.
yeah. Same goes for Man City as well. I mean, they've lost pretty much every single big game. Even if they look good against minnows like us, they almost, like, there's no confidence in that team.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's a game that, as you said, we will keep talking about. Every week there's going to be a new update. There's going to be twists and turns.
Yeah,
Whatever it is. Irrespective of the games. But again, the thing is, we have a game before that, or rather, we have a couple of games before that. We have to play the Copa game. We have to make sure we keep ourselves in contention. It's a game against Leganes. It's away, and more importantly, much more important, the game at the Bernabeu against Atletico Madrid. I feel like this is a game that is very, very important, especially in the context of the league. It's a game that, allows us to create a bit of buffer between the first and second position. So I think it's a game that's of monumental importance. So it's a game that we absolutely, absolutely should find a way of winning. Because I think if we are able to win that game, we're more or less one hands on the trophy.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Farooq, like, let's take a step back. Were you really worried about Atletico catching up? Like, they look so shaky this season. Like, I don't think they are actual real contenders.
This is the thing, like I agree with you. Like they've seemed to be like a team that could win 5-0 today and tomorrow lose 1-0 as well. You understand? This is the thing about them. They've been blowing hot and cold. But when you look at what's around, like we are also not a model of consistency. Barcelona also isn't a model of consistency, so it's just like a wild, literally a wild season, like it's like, okay, eventually you never can tell because the point is, let's not forget at one point Barcelona was like 6 points, 7 points ahead as well. I don't know how many, I can't remember the number.
It was never that. I mean, yeah, we did have that game in hand, which is why, the point gap seemed big. It wasn't actually that big.
It wasn't that big, right? Okay, anyways, but the no, actually after they defeated at the Bernabeu, it was 6 points.
So 6 point, yeah, that's true. They lost
Yeah,
two
after
on
the
two
game
on
at
the
the
road.
Bernabeu, it was 6 points. So this is right now we have just a 4 point buffer. You understand? And now I think we have 7 points on Barcelona or something like that.
That's right, 7 points.
You understand? So what I'm trying to say here is that like this tides. I mean, it's just October to January, right?
Yeah,
So the point is even from January to March, also you can also have that swing of 4 points as well. You understand?
that's true.
And even within that period, it's not like we've been absolutely consistent. We've been we dropped points. We dropped games as well. But the point is like what I'm trying to point here is that like this season, it's not about it's been swinging left and right. Honestly, it's just like you can go for a run of 4 or 5 games and all of a sudden the first position and second position are alternating again. You understand? So I do feel like having a 7 point buffer, to Atletico Madrid, I think it's going to be one hands on the trophy in my opinion if you go into February because the game is in February.
Yep.
If you can end February with a 7 point buffer on Atletico Madrid, I think it's you have a one hand on the trophy, man. You just need to hold on and put the second hand in there.
Yeah, and I mean, Barcelona are gonna have a lighter fixture list, but I think they too have like a harder fixture list coming up. So we can't expect them. They'll be at their 100% as well. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, as we've seen with Barcelona this season as well, we've seen that Barcelona is a team that, is capable also of doing the same thing, like they can win 10-0 and then go and have a, 0-0 draw as well. So I think the game, the way they play is a very, very highly demanding, method of play. So whether you like it or not, that takes a toll, on the physicality of the players as well. So that's also something that, one has to look out for. But I do think, like we've done well to be in touch, to be at the at the top right now, considering that the form that our players have shown at several points at the beginning of the season. Injuries are part of the game. We cannot. It is what it is. Like you cannot like predict this injuries. Like they just happen, and you just have to roll with it. And it depends. It's just how you adapt or lack thereof. And but the form of the players has been really really indifferent. Like it's been hot and cold, but at least it's now that we can see we have like this consistent 4, 5, 6 weeks that we're starting to see. When you take away, of course, like the isolated game of the game against Barcelona, like that we start to see like a strong consistency from the big hitters, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. And
So
even players like Xiaomini and Ceballos has been like outstanding this month.
I definitely agree. I think Dani Ceballos has gone to the level that he showed while he was at Real Betis. The reason why we bought him, to come to Real Madrid, and honestly, like he has been phenomenal. But Chouameni, I wouldn't say that much, but let's see.
Let's hope, yeah. I mean, so right now, how do you feel, man? Like, where do you think he goes from here? He's had maybe a month since we last discussed about the woes of having Xiaomini in defense and whatnot. But this last month, he's been decent. Or do you think he has to be moved back to the midfield? Because at some point, they're going to have to move Valverde because it's tougher list of games over to right back. And then there's going to be a spot in midfield that's going to be open.
I don't know, man. Do you think Valverde goes back to right back if Lucas Vazquez is fit?
One would hope. Otherwise, we're just looking at sadness, man. Like this month, we're not gonna make it with Lucas Vazquez at right back. I don't think so.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm not too sure, honestly, because I feel like, yeah, like why would you take away your best midfielder to put him out, out of position? Like, I think
Because
Fede Valverde
because there's
is so
such a big
vital.
gap between every single team is gonna look at that back line and then they're just gonna target Lucas Vazquez if he plays. Especially Pep, especially play maybe Simeone. These smart guys, they will put their best winger and move the attack to the left.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like you're taking away a lot from the midfield as well, especially with the hot and cold form that Camavinga has. Tchouaméni also hasn't been that reliable. So like, what do? You take them away and you put Dani Ceballos, Luka Modric, Jude Bellingham as a midfield tree, and then you have. Nah, man, I just don't see that, man. Honestly, I don't see that, and I mean, I do think Carlo will continue to trust in Lucas Vazquez as long as he is fit and available. I think Carlo will continue to trust in that for him.
You know what? That's true. I mean, the only time Lucas Vazquez didn't play was because he was suspended. Oh boy, it's gonna
That's
be.
just it, man. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think they're gonna continue with that. But I get what you're saying. I honestly get what you're saying, and honestly, depending on also how Camavinga, comes back into the team and the form he shows, and hopefully if Tchouaméni can show an optimum in form, I agree with that. Like maybe we can, put in the bigger games, especially at the away matches, for instance, when you go to the Etihad, maybe you want to put Lucas Vazquez on the bench and try Fede Valverde there, and to give more defensive solidity to the team. So this can be something that can be exploited, but I just feel like you might be losing a lot in the middle of the park by it's again the whole thing that we've been doing so far this season is addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
You gain something there by losing something there, so this is just the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think, we are going to be gaining so much more, from Fede moving to right back. But maybe the other option is, put Raul Asensio there. See how he plays against Espanyol, see how he plays against Leganes, and see if Carlo can actually trust him for the Man City game.
Oh, I don't know, man. Honestly, let's see. I mean, let's see what happens. In the coming weeks. We know that Real Madrid is not going to get anyone through the door. We know the window is closed for us.
Yeah.
Let's see what City does. Like City have gotten 3 players in, and I've been reading stuff that people are suggesting that City are going to get banned in the summer for the transfers. That's why they're doing a lot of transfers now. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But let's see how. It's gonna really bluster their team, but let's see how it goes, man. But honestly, I would not lie to you, man. I would rather play, Fede Valverde than shift Raul Asensio there, man. I'm cool with this addition by subtraction, but putting Raul Asensio there as a fullback, is not something that I'm too comfortable with, at least right now.
Yeah, neither is Ancelotti. Don't worry for it. You're not gonna see it. But yeah, I mean, we can't predict what the lineup is gonna be. I think Ancelotti, still has to figure his best lineup, especially for the bigger games. But yeah, man, like we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll think about it when we choose the lineups for Espanyol. But before we do that, let's go for the ad break. Doris, take it away.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you that if you want to help and support this project of ours, this channel, you can do so by going to manscaped.com, using our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. You help us out and you get a cool product. This time I'm here to introduce you guys to the Chairman Pro. It is a trimmer that features 2 interchangeable blade heads, one called the blade foil, which is to get that super smooth baby skin, and the other one is called the stubble trimmer, for if you want to still have that little bit of stubble but look a bit cleaner and fresher. You can do both with the same trimmer. It also features flex adjust technology. It adjusts it to your face, how you shave. You can also lock it for full precision. Best thing is waterproof. You can shave yourself in the shower if you want to. It's completely waterproof. It features 75 hours of battery life. So if you're going on some kind of travel, you can charge it beforehand and it will still have enough battery for the trip. Also, if you're going on a trip, you can lock it so that it doesn't turn on as you go. It has an LED. It's a great thing, and especially now that Christmas is coming up, if you want to send it as a gift to your boyfriend, or if you're a man, get it for yourself or your brother, dad. It's a great gift for any man, and this bad boy can even get up to like 5 days of beard, so you don't even need to trim it down before you can fully shave it. This does it for you. So yeah, get this at manscaped.com. use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Thank you for watching, and back to the video.
And we're back. Okay, man. I mean, yeah, let's quickly go through the lineups that we think is going to be used predominantly, not just for the Espanyol game, but maybe just even our best lineup, at least as of until the performances that we've seen until here. So yeah, for goalkeeper, Koto has to start for sure. In defense, is Chaumeni and then Rudiger, are they going to be the preferred centre back pairing? Heading into this month.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see Raul Asensio get the nod again.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it will be quite interesting to see Raul Asensio get the nod. And, it's after the break, most likely we'll see, maybe Rudiger get pulled out for David Alaba again. But I do think I wouldn't be surprised to see, Raul Asensio get the nod for this game in the middle of the park. And I think, we're starting to reach the point where we're going to start to rest players as well. Because while we play Girona in the middle of the week, we play Leganes away in the middle of the week for the Copa del Rey game. And I'm going to expect also to see a bit of rotation. But I think a lot of the focus will be on that, on that stretch that comes, next week. Because next weekend we play Atletico and then we play City.
Yep.
So I think there's going to be a lot of focus on that game, trying to keep a lot of players fresh as much as possible. So I think maybe Chouameni might be one of the victims of that, or rather one of the beneficiaries of that. He might be taken out of the firing squad to, kind of keep him as fresh as possible. So, I'd say we might see Raul Asensio partner Antonio Rudiger. And then, of course, Lucas Vazquez back in the spot. And I think, we're going to see Mendy again. And then I think, we're going to see Mendy continue that. I don't know. What's your take on the whole, Mendy, Fran Garcia thingy? For a big game, of course, let's have no doubt in our mind. In the big game, Ferland Mendy's fit, Ferland Mendy's stats. It doesn't matter even if
he's half fit, he's going to start.
Roberto Carlos. Exactly. There is no doubt about that. But what's your own personal opinion on this? Would you rather start Fran in the big matches, or would you continue with Mendy?
Man, I would go with Mendy, man. Especially for the Man City game. Even last year, we weren't really happy with his performances. He wasn't looking that good, but against Man City, he showed up. So.
So you're saying we should count on that again? That showing up. But I think he has enough credit in the bank. You're right about that. You're right about.
I don't know in the. Mendy needs rest too. He's not a player that can be played. Two times a week for 9 weeks straight. He's not that player anymore. You got to give him rest. So I think even maybe for the Atletico game, if Fran Garcia starts, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Bro, you're saying Mendy is not that player anymore. I think the man is 28 or some shit like that, bro.
It's not 28. Come on.
It's not like he's 34 or I don't know. Yeah, he's not 30, man. I think he's 28 or some shit like that.
Dude, he just gets injured. You've seen Mendy.
Yeah, man is made of glass. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think that makes sense. I think that's helped him a lot also this season because he's been available in games, and by not playing a lot, he's able to minimize the injuries that I think he's been injured as well, but he's been able to minimize the injury not as much as we've seen in the previous 2 seasons. But yeah, man, I do agree with you about that. Like Mendy shows up. I was actually thinking otherwise, but when you mentioned that, actually, I do agree, and that's true. Like in the game against City at the Etihad last year, like Mendy showed up big time. Reminding us of his defensive prowess and why I used to regard him as the best defensive fullback that's in the game. So I think for that reason, you just want to keep that solidity there. But yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Well, yeah, then I think for this game we see maybe Mendy plays, and then in the middle of the week, he gets the rests, with Fran, and then we continue again against Atletico Madrid and see that. But I wouldn't be surprised as well to see Fran just play throughout this next 2 games at Espanyol and at Leganes as well.
Yeah.
So it will be quite interesting to see, at least so that you can have a fresh Mendy against Atletico Madrid and stuff like that. So it's gonna be quite interesting. I don't know, man. I feel like if there's any Espanyol fan listening, it's gonna be like like we have absolutely disregarded them, like they do not exist. Even when we're talking about the lineup that plays Man City, we're talking about Atletico Madrid and Leganes. That's quite interesting. But yeah, it is what it is. Right now we just have to look at that stretch, because like whether you like it or not, playing every 3 days for the next hopefully 3 weeks, will be quite will test the depth of the squad and the physicality of the squad to the limits, honestly. But then this is the thing, like this is Real Madrid, and like this is how we roll. Like when you're at this club, you literally are eager to play every 3 days, because that means that you're being successful in all competitions. That's it. I mean, if we're already out of the Champions League, then we don't have any game any 3 days. If we're out of the Cup, we don't have any game any 3 days. You just play from Sunday to Sunday. Then that's just the thing. Well, yeah. This is something that most of these players are used to right now, and this is just the bread and butter. You want to shine during the weekends as well. Yeah, it's gonna test the limits of the physicality, but that's just the game that we have, right?
Man, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, let's go back to the midfield. There's no chance that Valverde and Bellingham, Camavinga don't play. Do you think Ceballos gets an in? Is he a starter right now in all La Liga games for sure?
Yeah. I think Ceballos didn't start in the midweek as well, right? So I think Ceballos starts now. He didn't start against Brest.
Right.
He didn't start against Brest, so I think he starts this
And
game.
do you know when Camavinga is going to be back?
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's still out.
Exactly sure.
Not heard anything about it. But yeah, man. So Ceballos, Bellingham, and Valverde. Then that's going to be our lineup for tomorrow. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think we should see something because I think Luka Modric also started the game, so I will see I think we're gonna maybe not see Luka in this game starting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I think yeah.
But okay, can I ask you this? Like, do you think Modric gets a start in the Man City game?
Nah, man, I don't see that. Man.
Oh, wow.
I think that's the interesting thing, but that's the thing. How do you now pair the Man City game? So do you go with the midfield of Dani Ceballos, Fede Valverde, and Jude Bellingham with a front three?
That's going to be dangerous. Carlo is going to need a lot of balls to do that. I don't think he'll do it.
Thinking about
this,
because I think Camavinga is not going to be back for that game. I think Camavinga is not going to be. I think Camavinga was supposed to be back in March. I'm not sure. Maybe I remember wrongly or not, but I think it was something on March. But I think Camavinga is not going to be back for that game, and for that reason, if you play Tchouaméni as a center back or you play Raul Asensio as a center back, pairing this, depending on what you go with, then you're not left with that much option in midfield as well. So it's either you play Luka Modric to form a midfield 4 and then you remove one of the attackers, or wow, this is a lot of mental gymnastics, man.
There's a lot of possibilities, and even though it's such a thin squad back in defense, like our midfield and front three are pretty stacked.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, but I think let's just go back to Espanyol. Let's discuss the City game when we actually discuss the City game.
Yeah. That's say the word City again for the rest of the episode. But yeah, Vinny's making his big comeback, man. You think it's like he says, he talked to some reporter. There were some quotes. I think the most memorable one was that Vinny looks like he's like at 200%. He's gonna start every single game this month.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know.
You're not convinced by him like this season at all?
It's about the suspensions, man. It's about that ill discipline that we're talking about, man. Like, I mean, Vinny is there. He wants to play every game. Of course, he wants to start every game. Of course, he is fired up. Of course, this is all true. Like, there is no doubt about that. But then again, I mean, the reason why he missed the games that he missed across the past couple of weeks is because of suspension, not because like he was in bad form or anything. So this is the thing. Like, I am not sure that Vinicius Junior can maintain, or rather can stay off of the discipline, of the discipline books. This is just the thing.
Let's hope, man. But he's always been a bit more calmer in the Champions League, which is why he's been able to play well. So that's my hope. Them.
I mean, like he's not walking a tightrope like for the Champions League. Like he's clear of suspension. I mean, if he was one yellow card away, bro, I mean, put your money on it right now. And Vinny gets a yellow. This is guaranteed. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah,
there is absolutely no doubt about that. That is guaranteed 100%.
Especially in a frustrating match against Man City, he's gonna get booked.
Definitely, bro. Definitely 100%. It's absolutely pick, man. But yeah, it's gonna be. But yeah, I mean, for the Champions League, I'm not worried. It's just like for the next couple of games, for the next months, I hope he's able to stay away from from the bookends, because again, as I say, like it's not bookends for tackles or anything. It's just bookends for decent. This is just the issue there. Like these are bookends that come for decent, so this is the primary issue. But it is what it is, man. With Vinny, this is just what you have to accept, and the club has helped foster this attitude of this. So it's just like we have laid the bed, we have to lie in it.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess the rest of the front two picks itself, it's going to be Rodrigo and Mbappe, yeah?
Exactly. There is no doubt about that. Rodrigo and Kylian Mbappe are arguably the two most informed attackers in world football.
Yeah, hopefully. So do you think there were a lot of rumors that came out this week that Rodrigo was offered a chance to go to Saudi, Man City wanted him. Do you think those were true? Do you think he had suitors in the summer?
This summer, actually, there were a lot of news about CT and lack thereof in December, but I don't think like there was something concrete there. I think it's just about like just testing the waters and seeing, okay, like is there a possibility here and there, and nah, just I think both the player and the club, just rebuffing everything and being like, nah, there is absolutely nothing, or maybe just might just be like agents just steering shit up without something like that, But again, like I mean, it's Rodrigo. Like if Real Madrid chooses to not continue at Real Madrid, or Real Madrid chooses to not continue with him, there are gonna be a lot of suitors. Like I mean, let's not forget the whole Di Maria thing. After the win in 2014, like Di Maria could have gone anywhere he wanted. Involved in football as well. So this the thing. Like they're just players that are just too good to not have suitors of the highest caliber.
Yeah, that's true, man. In fact, you have the lineups. It was a pretty long episode, not really an Espanyol preview, but we made it to the end.
Yep.
Let's do the predictions and wind this up. Yeah, man, you go first.
Yeah, man. So like the game against Espanyol, it's an away match. We go to Barcelona. Because of this, I'm gonna temper the expectations a bit and just go for the 3-1 victory. I mean, Espanyol is like I think 18th in the league, something like that. 5 victories out of 21 matches. So. Yeah, I will go for 3-1 Real Madrid victory.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a bit more tighter in the back than maybe Salzburg or even maybe in Brest.
Yeah, Valladolid, yeah.
Valladolid as well. So yeah, I'm gonna maybe expect a lower scoreline, 2-1. Looks right to me, because I know for a fact we're not gonna keep a clean sheet, are we? Not this month.
I mean, we've kept clean sheet in our last 2 matches, bro. What are you talking about?
I mean, okay, that was against Brest. Okay, anyways. So that's a long discussion, man. I don't want to get into it. So yeah. There you go, folks. There's your predictions. I know this was another episode where we didn't have any comments read out. We couldn't really make it to anything, but then, The post match is going to be live. We're going to have the watch along as well for all of these important games. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. And until next time, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.